So everybody's pontificating today, the 35th anniversary of the Gretzky deal from Edmonton to the Kings, from one corrupt owner to another, Pocklington to McNall. But what did the trade really mean for teams that weren't the LA Kings and Edmonton Oilers? Well, here's the deal. In 1989, it stopped Montreal from winning a cup because the Calgary Flames of 1989, the biggest obstacle they had was a Gretzky-led Oilers. When they dealt with Edmonton that year, Calgary got the momentum, stopped Montreal from winning the cup. There was only one team in the league could beat Montreal. It was Calgary. And there's only one team in the league that Montreal couldn't beat. It was Calgary. So the 89 Cup went to Calgary. Now, as momentum going on, Gretzky in LA drew less American media on Mario Lemieux. He started to build as a player, won 2 straight cups, 91 and 92. Outstanding results. Brett Hull developed as a player, which obviously led to the rebirth of the St. Louis franchise, and also the Detroit Red Wings didn't have as much pressure other than the own the Detroit media. I was waiting for a driver's examiner test in 1989 to renew my license outside of the courthouse in Dalhousie, New Brunswick. There's around 35 people waiting in line. Back in the day, you couldn't book an appointment. You had to wait in line. Now, I told everybody in line, I was a sports reporter, we're hearing that Gretzky was betrayed. Half the people basically told me to go fuck myself. The other half basically said, who told you that? That's the old expression to a journalist, who told you that? Well, we tell each other. We were getting rumblings in the Quebec media that Gretzky was either going to be traded to the Kings or he's going to ask for his outright release the next year and sign with the Kings. This was no surprise. $15 million and a bunch of players also impacted the Eric Lindros deal because Lindros' was really not on the map yet, but his value went sky high after the Gretzky deal came about. There was no such thing as mega deals in the NHL until the Gretzky deal. Now, how did this change CBC and SRC and the other stations that are broadcasting NHL? Well, ratings went up because more people get interested in when Vancouver took down LA, when Calgary took on LA, when Winnipeg took on LA. So it helped the ratings on that side. Coincidentally, less pressure on the Montreal Canadiens, which again led to appearances almost a Stanley Cup run in 88, a Stanley Cup run in 89, and a Stanley Cup in 93. They were motivated to win the Cup in 93 because they wanted to stop Gretzky like Gretzky stopped him with Curry and Coffey and everybody else, and he Moog in 81. Now, did Janet Jones have anything to do with the trade? No. Janet Jones is a nice person, but she's not the brightest bulb in a tree. She knew nothing about hockey, only the fact that she fell in love with a hockey player. Now, get this. Gretzky going to LA might have inadvertently led to Alanis Morissette's world-beating album because of her alleged relationship with Dave Coulier, of course, who played one of the characters on Full House. So that's another thing people don't talk about. Now, how do you like this? Breakfast cereal featuring Gretzky and other superstars of sports and the cartoon of Gretzky also came out. So you're seeing ripples effects. They say that, like in Star Trek, City on the Edge forever, ripples in time. It changed the way journalists covered hockey because it got more tabloid. Now, this also led to McDowell and Gretzky and Candy buying the Toronto Argonauts, eventually signing Raghib Ismail and putting the CFL into what's called the U.S. era of the 1990s. The Argos finally won a Grey Cup in that infamous game, the cold weather game where somebody threw a liquor container against the Rocket. A lot of controversy there, but it drew more attention to the Argonauts and Pinball Clemens and the quality of teams the Argos had in the 1960s and 70s that finally came in with their first, Grey Cup in about 7 years, like the post-Conrad Holloway era. So everything that occurs, there's a side effect. Just like Mike Allen losing the leadership for New Brunswick for the Progressive Conservative Party led to Blaine Higgs winning premier. It all is all ripples in time. Gretzky, again, and the sports cards industry, the junk wax hockey industry started because of the Gretzky trade. That's another thing. It's endless. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to learn more about the Gretzky trade, watch the Good 30 for 30 documentary and the various CBC posts from the time. And all I can say is, ladies and gentlemen, hockey is Canada's game.